Yeah, I have my route.
Okay, well. Oh, hello again. This is Texas Steampunk Connection, and we're here to try to talk steampunk. Basically, what do you do in a pandemic for steampunk? And once again, I am Flavio. I have Fax and Jack with me. As always,
I'm Jack.
Say hello, guys.
Hello, guys.
We're all a little laggy today, it seems like.
Oh, no worries. I had some stuff I had to wait for before I get started. So we were all running behind schedule, but we weren't that far behind. Only 5 minutes or so. No big deal.
Well, we haven't had any opportunity for people to jump on the stream, so we're still talking to ourselves.
This is true.
But you will see us.
This is true. But this is
in
also being recorded for the.
I'll let you do it.
We're so professionals.
For the this, that, and the other thing.
No, I mean we record for an actual audio podcast, so you know we can be talking to those people as well. We don't have to be talking to people online with us now live, which is always nice to have. Oh, but we do have one person already. Don't know who it is though. Say hello if you want to.
By all means, comment. We will see your comments and we will talk to you.
And as usual, well, as has become a tradition, after 4 or 5 episodes, we start off with what we're drinking. I am again drinking the same I was drinking last time, the French Quarter Temperance Imperial Milk Stout. It's really good. I'm liking it.
Hello, Rita.
It's a nice dark beer like I like. I like the dark beers, as you can tell. What are you drinking, Fax?
I am drinking from Sierra Blanca Brewing Company in Moriarty, New Mexico. This was hand delivered to me by a friend of mine, Ama. De La Vega's Pecan beer.
You would like it, Flavio.
It is
pecan beer.
Pecan beer. That is the entire
that does sound
description.
Good.
It's not a porter or a stout, but it has a really strong, sweet pecan flavor. It's a little dessert.
Sound good.
It's kind of a dessert beer, but it's not super heavy. It's not like super
like a good
sweet,
one.
but it's really nice. I don't think you can buy it here. Like I said, a friend was in New Mexico and she picked these up for us.
That's a good friend. I need friends like that. How about you, Jack?
Hey,
you got
I would
anything
love it if someone could bring me some beer. Oh yeah. So I was just like, as you said earlier, what's your drink? And I'm like, oh crap, I didn't grab anything on the way home from the store.
Tap water.
I'm back to this. Like I'm not having a horrible time with it. It's one of those days.
Captain Morgan.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with some rum.
And one of the best little shot glasses.
Nice.
I don't see anything wrong with that.
Not at all. Not at all. Yeah, as I was saying, I mean, yeah, what are you drinking, Rita? So, as I was saying, you know, it's quarantine times, it's social distancing times, so there's not a lot of actual steampunk going on for live people. So what do you do at home for steampunk? Me, I read a lot, watch TV a lot, movies and such. Which is what else can you do when you're stuck at home, right?
Yeah, I mean,
and we all have I've been challenging everybody to come up with at least one steampunk thing. She's drinking water. Nothing wrong with water. Keep hydrated.
Keep hydrated. It's hot outside. Dihydrogen monoxide, man. There's a lot of tests on that.
Right? Oh man, I need a drink. Beer's made with water, so that's almost the same, right?
I mean, and this right here is distilled water, so.
So there you go.
Main ingredient.
Well, back in the old days, it was bad to drink. The water wasn't clean, so you had to drink like beer or something because it was just safer that way. You know,
ducks pooped in it.
Exactly.
Don't drink the water. Fish have sex in it.
Oh, poor Flavio. You were doing
I'm okay. There's nothing wrong with laughing.
Killed you.
I'm good with it. I'm good with it. I'm good with it. Whew, I needed a laugh.
They also pee in it too.
And have sex in it. Or do they?
I mean, I'm sure they do.
It's complicated.
Let's move on beyond fish. I've been messing with fish all day, so I'm fished out.
Oh, okay. I lost track of time. Okay, I am of course an avid graphic novel reader as well as just actual novel reader, but today I have some graphic novels that I feel fall into the right category. They're not that graphic, although one of them is kind of in a bloody kind of way, but not this one. The first one I'm going to introduce is written. It's called The Fearsome Dr. Fang. Dun, dun, dun. Written by a gentleman named I'm sorry, I'm going to get the name wrong. It's Zichun.
Zechun.
Yeah,
maybe.
Zichun. Yes. He also wrote the other one I'm going to talk about called The Seven Deadly Sins. He's the same writer for this one. So this one, the fearsome Dr. Fang, nothing to fear but Fang himself. When an occult artifact is stolen by dashing mastermind the fearsome Dr. Fang, San Francisco cop Nayland Kelly and treasure hunter Elise LaCroix travel to China to recover the item and bring Fang to justice. But when our heroes discover Fang is not a criminal law, but an undercover agent working to keep the artifact safe, the trio must join forces to stop the true evil awakening by an ancient power. So essentially, it's kind of a Batman Green Hornet mix, kind of.
The cover looks like it was like a novel from the 40s, you know?
It's great. Sort of, I love
exactly.
It.
Worn out and
it's essentially in that time period.
You never make it old. Or it's already old.
I forget what time. But yeah, it's basically a nice pulp adventure where they go and try to save the world from a true evil or ancient power. Dr. Fang is kind of a Batman Green Hornet mix. And if you don't know Green Hornet is he was a superhero who pretended to be a villain.
He was really tiny.
In order to infiltrate the gangs, the villain gangs and stuff like that, take them down from the inside, kind of thing. And everyone, if you don't know who Batman is, I don't have time to explain that to you. Batman's Batman.
We don't want you as friends. No.
Oh, come on.
Although Batman does have a
Batman anyway. If you're a fan of if you're a fan of Bruce Lee, the Green Hornet TV show is where he got his sort of entrance into American television as the sidekick for the Green Hornet.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
And they
Kato.
sort of, they wrote him in as sort of the goofy Kato character. But then when Bruce Lee would get a scene, he would just, clobber all the other the guys he was fighting, blow everyone away, and it was like, wow, this is the Kato show now. I think they didn't keep him for very long because he was too good for that role. Right. I'm not sure though. You'd need to look into it, but just for that, Green Hornet, I heard knowing about.
I heard rumors that Bruce Lee was supposed to be the lead in the TV show Kung Fu with Dean. I think Dean Cain was the guy who just walked the earth, like Kung Fu. I think he was supposed to be the lead for that, but then he was
that show. Hey, that guy's not Chinese.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Bruce Lee was too Chinese for the movie or for the TV show because back then people were. Oh wait, people still are. But anyway, racist. But that's besides the point.
It would have been a way cooler show if Bruce Lee.
It would have been. He would have really kicked some ass.
Yeah, that'd have been awesome.
I mean, quite literally, just straight up. The world is lesser because
this book. Yeah, because this book is straight up adventure pulp. And with, like I said, with fancy gadgets from the Dr. Fang guy, and and there's a intrepid group of heroes. Kind of reminded me a little bit of the old movie The Mummy with Brendan Fraser.
I love that.
That's a great
kind of like that. Kind of pulp fiction, kind of like that. It's like I don't know. To me, sometimes I get my pulp fiction and my steampunk kind of mixed together. You got the pulp fiction and my steampunk and your pulp fiction because I like pulp.
It works well, like with the nightmare realities. You get in that area where it's just kind of alternate reality, and you have that
Mhm.
dark pulp fiction vibe, and it's just like, all right, let's just work that in with some technology that's obviously steampunk. So no, I
Well,
get
there's a
you.
small difference between pulp fiction, with the gritty crime kind of pulp fiction, but there's also like pulp adventure, which is like the Rocketeer,
So
um,
you're talking about like
you know, Indiana,
noir
stuff like that.
mystery style, right? Um,
Yeah, explain
Um,
it. We
well,
need.
there's two different types. There's a noir mystery style pulp, but there's the adventure, like the Mummy, and the
mhm,
Rocketeer.
mhm.
And in fact, heck, Indiana Jones practically is pulp. And some people
Oh,
argue
it
Indiana
totally
Jones
is.
is diesel punk.
Mhm.
I am so totally
I think,
an Indiana Jones fan. The
yeah,
hat.
people have stated that Indiana Jones falls under steampunk. I mean, not steampunk, diesel punk,
Mm-hmm.
because of the Nazis and all that kind of stuff as well.
You have
all that.
just enough magic in there to give it that little
Exactly.
red of awesome.
Exactly. And that's how the fearsome Dr. Fang. There's just enough of the mysterious magic kind of stuff in here, and the gadgets and stuff as well.
So where does
and I-
one go to get such a book?
You can go to, this is from a company called TKO Studios. They have a website. I'll put a link up for it. And TKO Studios does Dr. Fang. And they also do this one, the Seven Deadly Sins, which is the other one written by the same gentleman, Zichun. I don't know, I pronounced the name wrong. This one's more wild, Weird West. And the main thing about this one, okay, Seven Deadly Sins, One Deadly Mission. 1867, Texas. A group of death row criminals is recruited by a priest for a suicide mission into Comanchera. Led by an outlaw with a bloody past, this deadly crew embarks on an action-packed adventure in this bold new vision of the American West. This one, very bloody, very violent, very bloody.
Yes.
But I'm not sure how Weird West it is, but it was definitely a Western, but it was really, really well. But like I said, very, very bloody and violent.
Just a train wreck of blood and gore.
Yeah, it's all very Quentin Tarantino-esque, I think.
Ooh. Yeah, I'm gonna have to get my hands on that one.
In that respect. Yeah, I liked it a lot. There's, like one of the criminals is basically a cannibal, representing gluttony. But all the criminals represented some kind of sin, essentially. This was a harder read. I'm not sure how exact. Well, it was definitely Wild West, Weird West, maybe, but there wasn't a whole lot of magic or anything in there. But I still really, it's in the right time period, and just the idea of criminals going on a suicide mission. Just I liked it. If you like Quentin Tarantino movies, you'll like this. And that's pretty much all I have to say about this one. The TKO Studios, they write a bunch of others. They have a bunch of other graphic novels that are not anywhere near steampunk, but they have really good. Like one of them, it's a science fiction one, and it's been nominated for some kind of award. I forget which one it is. It's written by a gentleman named Jeff Lemire, who writes a lot of comics. So TKO Studios is a good studio, or good comic book studio coming up.
Interesting.
I don't really have anything else to add to these, unless who's next? Who wants to take a next step, guys?
Do you want Dax, me, you?
Whatever you want to do.
Flip a coin. Ready. All right, Dax. Okay, go.
Okay, all right. Let's see. Where do we start here?
You said you had all kinds of stuff to show us.
Everybody who's been in steampunk for very long at all is familiar with the term glue some gears on it and call it steampunk. Right? Here's the song. I find it very contentious. I think you could make an argument for it, that you could slap gears on anything and make it steampunk.
You can.
My general argument for that is basically, it's not that it has to be functional. It's more of a, like putting on earrings or a ring.
I agree.
A decoration.
The gear is part of the steampunk aesthetic.
Yeah, I would prefer it to be functional, but if you haven't gotten that far yet, we don't mind the aesthetic.
Jack, I'm glad you said that, because that is exactly where I'm going. what do we do
Awesome.
with all of these gears instead of just gluing them onto things, which I'm not against, but
You make Steampunk credit.
Collectors to
with
repair
them
watches.
that work, that actually use the gears. And so tonight I'm going to talk about and introduce you to some sources that you can learn about automata or automatons and how to build them. Dun, dun, dun.
I love it.
Does that sound fun?
It does sound fun.
So I was
Yes,
first.
yes.
It was first brought to my attention. Certainly, this isn't the only place you could be introduced to automata, but I'm going to start sharing my screen here. See if this works. Boop. Chrome has a bug that can cause screen. Whatever. Good.
Stop
Yes.
reading your
Share audio. Share.
all the ads. Don't read the ads. You'll run into stuff that's problematic.
Entire screen. Share. 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 Okay, this isn't working for me. Share. Click. Oh,
That's weird. It worked before. You shared your screen before.
it's just a matter of what to.
I see it. I see it on my end. Let me add to stream here. There
Okay.
you go.
Oh, Streamception.
This all started for me with a TV show that came out in 2015-ish called Steampunked. You may or may not have seen it.
Mm-hmm.
It was a terrible program, and this is not a recommendation.
Hey,
Agreed.
it was bad, but I really liked all the people they had on there.
Agreed. The problem is, yes, they had amazing talent among the contestants you see here.
Just use
Amazing
them
people
terribly.
who know how to build amazing things individually or together, and they put them in this meat grinder of a program where they were expected to create these fantastic works.
You had a
with nothing in no time, and they were it was horrible. It was painful to watch, but all the people in it
Agreed.
were fantastic.
I just hated the fact that you'd stick a seamstress in, and you're like, all right, now you have to decorate this room. That's not their strong point. You're like,
Right.
It's like
that one guy
people who
when they asked him to do
decided to
something.
Go on.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. I interrupted you.
It was like they took this old house. Now we're just going to throw people at it that like steampunk to see what we can come up with, and we're going to make it a game show. And it was just rough on
We're
the
going to make them fight with each other.
Yeah, like we're now competing
and make drama. Yeah.
These skills don't cross over into these genres, and now they're competing for a prize. It just it hurt to see it.
It was. But
what bugged me was that one guy. They asked him to do something, and he actually said, "Look, I don't know how to do this. This is not. I've never done this before. I do this. This is my skill over here." But they still made him do what they were telling him to do, and sure enough, he got eliminated that time because he didn't do a good job. It's like,
and the whole idea of eliminating people with skills and putting them in the wrong place does not really fit steampunk to me.
I agree.
Right, I agree.
But that's not what I want to talk about.
I'm sorry. Yeah,
it's okay. We're giving you background, but I want to concentrate on this girl right here, over in the corner.
Okay.
Her name is Avi Rose, and what got my attention the first few episodes as people are being introduced, one of her signature talents was to make automata, and they're on her own website where she has made. I'm not going to play the sound. I'm just going to. As you can see, she's turning a crank.
Oh yeah. Okay. Mm-hmm.
And something is moving or is animated through gears and gewgaws underneath the table. And
now for the future people listening to this and not watching, we will post a link to this.
Oh yes, I'm going to give you links, but aviroseart.com is her website. You can see her stuff. She also does a lot of taxidermy, which is not my cup of tea, but if that's what you're into,
you're not into the macabre. My wife is over here going, "Ew, why'd you say it that way?" Like I like success.
So yeah, she sort of introduced me. I'm like, well, where can I find out more about that stuff? Where can I learn how to do that myself? And there are lots of places. You can go to Pinterest and see a lot of inspiration. You can go to YouTube and find a lot of inspiration, other people who've made things, but it didn't show me the step-by-step, how the mechanisms work, how I can recreate them, and, presented it in a teaching format until this week when I found this Korean YouTube channel.
What?
Oh, okay.
Automata Korean Design Center.
All right.
And I'm just going to go to the videos here. And it's got lots of stuff they've made, but also it's got videos on just the simple mechanics that create motion. And they've
That's
got
very helpful, yeah.
designs, and you can see just the small pieces, the little pieces that they've put together to create bigger things, which is awesome. I mean, they've got how horses move, and then they've gone into the video on how they've sort of created a similar movement that you can add together to create a moving horse, just as one example.
Nice.
And there's just tons of these.
So this is what
are you gonna build one of those?
Years.
Maybe.
I love it.
Awesome.
The opportunity is there, and this knowing these things gives you insight into how to build robots, puppetry.
Yeah.
You can
Nice.
add engines to them rather than hand cranks.
Nice.
All kinds of nifty stuff. This seemed like the key to getting into those things. And there's just lots and lots of videos here where they deconstruct what has been built, so you can get some knowledge into how to do this.
Also, I'm gonna just throw this in there while you're going off on this. Lego, actually, there's a big group of people who are doing this with Legos right now, with the whole the Technic pieces.
Fun.
And they're getting really, really nuts with it too. So I've actually seen a couple of those, and you just got me back into I got to pull my stuff out now and just ruin a room.
What can you do with your Legos?
Yeah, because I got a crap ton of them.
Lego is a fantastic resource for getting those gears and moving parts, and it's just a vast array of different pieces that you can build, but they are a little expensive.
Yes,
and it might feel
so
a little
Legos.
So where else can you get gears and simple movements like these? Well, children's toys.
Oh yes, we got those.
Nice.
Little, baby stuff. They've got the plates that to put them on, and they've got gears and gigas, and they go around corners. And to start with, that's perfect. Costs very little.
That's brilliant.
Order those from China on AliExpress. It'll take you almost a month to get it, but
so you can't do it if you're in a hurry.
Well, you can get these actually at science stores in the U.S., but they're a lot more expensive.
Yeah,
that's 45% off right there, because we're the issue at hand, and that's reason we can't meet at a bar right now. But
and the ugly colors there. I mean, a little rattle can spray paint, and you're good to go.
Oh yeah.
Exactly.
And from there, AliExpress has knockoff Legos.
Yep. eBay as well. You can find Legos all over eBay, where people are selling their kids Legos if they went to college for $100 for a literal Sterilite container full.
Yeah,
I've seen them at half price books. I've seen them at Goodwill.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, no, that's a cool idea. I never thought about that.
Or there's a wooden modeling place that
Ooh.
makes the Automata as building kits for you to put together. All the
Now we're
pieces
talking
already
my language.
made, and you can just buy them. We're not being sponsored by them. I'm not even bringing this up to sell them, but they are there. I am more interested for this site because they offer, let me see if I can find it, the instructions on how to make all of their kits, even if you don't buy them.
Oh, nice. So like carve the wood. Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
You could just see what these things are and their full layouts, what the pieces look like, how to put them together.
Wow.
Now you would have to build these individual pieces yourself if you have a CNC machine or a friend who doesn't mind being bothered constantly by you. That's an option, I suppose. But
that's cool.
They're very transparent in that this is their stuff. This is how to put it together. Even if you didn't want to build this thing, you just wanted to sort of wrap your brain around what it's doing. That is certainly available. Now,
that's really cool.
Huh. That is impressive.
And that's basically that's my report for the week.
I wonder how much some of those cost. I'll have to look those up. Are we going to be shooting around the room again on the screen? Woo! There we go.
I don't know. I'm just playing with it. Sorry about that, guys. I hit the wrong button.
Wow. So I didn't even price these.
Oh, you got something else to share? Oh, you're looking at
$20 to $30. That is not bad at all.
Not bad at all
for a kit. Yeah, that's pretty good.
This is the intermediate ones I pulled up, but
now I like remember when at the Las Vegas convention we went to. Remember there was somebody who was selling like light switches that you can put over your light switches and it looked kind of like a big chink thing. Those are pretty cool.
A friend like me in one of those, and it's like it's a big gear set. Looks like something you'd throw to like electrocute, the
exactly. Those are pretty fun.
And it was 3D printed, but it looks like it's actually got a wood handle, and it looks like it's metal, and it just so
yeah. You use that for your light switches. Those are pretty cool.
They had a number.
Okay, so
in the.
You're welcome, Rita. That's a nice Christmas shopping. Yeah, thank you for the Christmas shopping idea.
I can drop bookmarks or links.
Yeah, drop the links on the Facebook page.
Yeah, straight in the comments. Therefore, we don't have to really do a whole lot with the linking issue.
Yeah.
How do I drop a comment in here?
That's right, because these comments go underneath our on Facebook.
Yeah, you gotta go.
If you put it here,
you actually click it.
I don't have a comment space to put it in. Well, I'll put it in at the end of the show. I'll put everything in at the end of the show. So yeah, you're not going to miss anything. I don't want to slow everything down because I can't figure stuff out. But
no worries. And I think it's Jack's turn. So Jack, what do you have? What did you do your homework, Jack?
I did do my homework. I was actually contacted a couple weeks ago by a company who was needing some help writing or making sure that their lore was steampunk for one of their games that they're currently working on. And so I am, but they for thanking me, they sent me their current game that they just released due to the fact that COVID's happening, everything like that. They made this very easy for parents. Build your own board game adventure game edition And basically what it is how to be a DM for your children. And it is literally step-by-step process by Endeavor apostrophe is the company's name. And so, I mean, it is literally step by step, and I wanted to at least go with the let's see here, the core system, kind of read over it a little bit. This is a diverse game development system designed for versatility and ease of use. This book will go with the core format for the build your own board game adventure game edition that is coming. Our edition is to provide a simple method to develop your own games with your family and friends to enjoy. At the same time, we built in flexibility so when any game gets stale or overplayed, you just switch it up and build something new. And I've been reading it. It is really, they give an example. They actually have an example story you can follow so that you can go through it. And it's for children, but I'm looking at it as like a future DM going, this is actually great because it tells you when you need to have like points of contention and how to deal with people if they change the narrative and get back on. And depending if you're doing like a on rails story, how to get back on rails, or if you don't want to have rails, how to go around still getting your story told. And I love it. I'm going to try it out. Yeah.
So. Well, if it works for children, it'll definitely work for a lot of gamers because a lot of gamers don't stick to the plan.
No. I've always found the idea of GMing so daunting because I don't feel like I have the tools that you were describing there. I have no idea how to manage players and lay out a story and have enough in my head to deal with when they go off on a tangent, because they always do.
Stick to the story. Where are you going for the story? I mean, some people will say I make an excellent NPC, and I do, because my job is literally to antagonize the main characters. And I love that. That's so much fun. But to actually like go through with a story all the way to the end is something that every time I have someone who's willing to DM, I'm willing to sit there and do it. And my wife over here is smiling at me and sticking her tongue out at me because we recently had to do that for a year and a half, and we get it. I get it completely. But I was very happy that they came out and started asking me questions, because it does sound like it is going to be a fantastic steampunk game, and they're going to keep me up with it in the future. So more on that as it
comes. You're a consultant.
I'm a consultant. Steampunk now.
Awesome.
That's something I can go on my resume.
Are they making a steampunk RPG or
it's going to be a
board game support tool?
It's going to be a board game with its own universe. And so you'll be able to bring in, like, obviously I was explaining the whole multiverse idea of steampunk to them, and they're like, whoa, this is a lot more than we were expecting. Where did this all come from? And like, it's because you go to like a decade worth of conventions and you talk to, a couple thousand steampunks and you get every unique story. There's no way to make a steampunk game that's just solely everyone could agree on steampunk. And so a lot of the theories they had, I'm like, all right, you can do it. That's yours. It's fine. But make it where people can build their own. And so they're quickly sitting here changing up everything that they can to kind of allow for that. And they're like, we had this idea of like crystal dust. And I'm like, that's cool. It could be considered ether. I'm like, wait, what? I thought ether was a gas. I'm like, not necessarily.
It's whatever you need it to be.
It's whatever you need it to be.
Exactly.
Thank God for the whatever device. But so
like
they're very fantastic to get this information, and I'm looking forward to this board game. It's going to be enough simple that it can be, how to explain it? It's simple for the people who want it to be simple, and it can be hardcore for the people who want it to be hardcore. And so
makes sense.
It seems like a very versatile system to bring in. And I'm looking forward to it. So more information on that as it comes. I'm obviously under some things I can't talk about, but
right. Like we signed a disclosure agreement. We were supposed to we were asked to talk about steampunk with somebody else on a TV show, but we can't talk about it. And we weren't going to be as useful as he wanted us to be because he wanted more gadgets and
can you ship your gadgets?
Yeah.
No,
I am the gadget.
I mean, I'm going to put myself in a box and ship myself to Hollywood. Just tell me when and tell me what the potions needs to be.
Well, actually, it's filmed here it was going to be filmed here in Austin.
Oh,
Oh, I didn't know that.
I mean, can we actually be on?
Yeah, it was going to be here in Austin.
Gadget then, because I'd be okay with like taking my gadget home after you know.
You'll have to talk to him. You have his contact.
I do.
But Jack, about this book, do they have other products published that we can look at to get an
Not
idea?
just yet. They are producing more stuff right now. They are very new. They've been they had a whole bunch of stuff on the back burner, and then they couldn't get out of their house, and so now they've got it going, and they were like, "This is currently selling in Kindle Unlimited, and so you can get it, I think, very cheap on Kindle Unlimited if you wanted to get it there." Or they're doing more of the hardbacks for selling on Amazon shortly as well. These are currently, I have a first edition right here, so it's mine. You can't have it. And
do they need a printing company? I can recommend.
I'll send it to them for sure. But yeah. And if I would love to get the creator on here later, the mastermind of the whole thing.
Oh, absolutely.
That'd be cool. Yeah.
For future,
first season we had. The first season of Texas Steampunk Connection, we had some creators of Tefra, and a couple of other RPGs. Yeah.
We had Steve Metz, who has published just lots of stuff now.
Right, we're actually on we're on the back cover of one of his books.
All right.
But yeah, that sounds really cool. So you are consulting on a steampunk game. That's awesome.
That is pretty cool. How did they find you? Were they like close friends of yours already, or?
I do know them, and they're like, "You're into this steampunk stuff, right?" Like, just a little bit, I think.
Just it's only a monthly subscription service. That's all.
I own my own business that runs in the steampunk world. I guess I say I know some stuff. Yeah, so.
You should. I mean, that should make you our steampunk expert, or at least
I'm
on what is steampunk.
Steampunk, or not paid. I haven't been paid. I mean, I've been given gifts for consulting, so I guess I'm paid. And
I mean, well, since you ship something steampunk monthly, you'll know the music and other things.
That way, yeah. So I do have a subscriptions chest that does bring out steampunk to people's homes. So, and it's what I consider steampunk. It's what Lex considers steampunk, and then like I look through and see what other people think is cool, and I'll consider figuring to get it in the box. So there's a lot of things that go into that too.
Right. Yeah, because when we first started this podcast, Dax and I, we came up with the 3 things that needs to be, or 3 things to consider for it to be steampunk, and you should have at least 2 out of the 3. And I don't remember what they were. I think was a time period appropriate.
It had to have a Victorian aesthetic. Had to sort of be Victorian. It had to be anti-establishment because it's punk,
or
right?
The punk.
Either fighting against the system or breaking the norms or something, and it had to have some kind of weird gadgets.
Right. So 2 and it had to at least 2 out of those 3 things.
But if you get 2 out of 3, you're pretty steampunk.
So we're looking at like Victorian Britain or just Victorian era of our planet, like
like 7 Deadly Sins. That gets 2 out of 3. It's got the Victorian times, and it's against the establishment because they're all criminals. So there you go.
So dust punk is just as Victorian, sure.
Okay.
I mean, you could argue it all day long. That's why we're here. But
you want an argument? I'll sell you an argument.
But if we were gonna be a steampunk podcast, we should at least have our own definition of what steampunk was, kind of thing. Really something to gauge it with.
Our own, and then argue the nitty-gritty bits for 45 minutes.
Oh yeah, that'll be fun.
You're wrong. No,
that's not steampunk.
And then you could talk about things like my Automata
Yep.
today. Is that
Mhm.
steampunk? No, it doesn't fit those two of the three criteria, but it fits in a steampunk narrative.
Mhm.
Steampunk is a narrative, right? It has to have narrative to have two out of those three things.
It's the quirky gadget, and I'm sure they were made in the 1800s.
Oh, sure. They were also made in the 1600s, but that's okay.
Yeah, I mean they're simple automatons.
Yeah.
Honestly, if you look at Steam
There you
Powered
go.
Giraffe, their whole shtick is they're literally those,
They're
but
automatons.
a little more pizzazzed. So
Right.
And they sing about steampunk themes, so
Yeah.
they've got the narrative. But
yes,
the robot is steampunk appropriate. It fits in that thing. And then there's steampunk adjacent. Like I really like swing music and electro swing.
Yep.
But those don't
Yep.
really,
Me too.
in my opinion, don't fit into a steampunk narrative. It's out of period.
Yeah.
But steampunks like it.
Yeah.
And so,
that's one reason I'm like
steampunk.
I like new age music with steampunk lyrics. Works very well for me. For me, steampunk music is not. All right, I'm going to say this. I'm going to piss off a lot of people, but
Dun, dun,
the
dun.
cock is dead to me. No, that's not quite what I meant to say. That's a bad soundbite. The cock is dead.
It's okay.
First
You can piss off another band. Zach's already pissed off one band.
We don't talk about that. The cog is dead. Yes.
Like at first, Cog is Dead did not fit to me as steampunk. I was listening to him going, what are they singing about this steampunk? Because none of their storylines were steampunk, and the music to me didn't feel steampunk. But the longer they've been around, the more I felt like they are in the culture. They've got it down. And so
don't they dress the part? I forget. Do they dress the part, or is that there's another band that I keep getting mixed up with? Go ahead, continue. I'll think about it.
So it was just one of those things of like being able to like coming out. It's like I didn't like the Cog is Dead was like going to make people angry, but I do like them. It's just it took me a while to really see the aesthetic in it because to me it wasn't my steampunk at the time. Because I was in like the whole if I wanted steampunk, I wanted to be singing about like dystopia or airship pirates or that kind of need to be relevant to whatever narrative they were trying to tell. I wanted storyline music essentially, and I didn't feel like it was there until later. I'm like, oh no, they're just traveling musicians within the world doing their thing, talking about the normal storyline, the stories that which come up to them, but none of it was very like they weren't telling a grandiose story about a dystopian future that failed, miserably. So anyway, moving on. Before I stick my foot in my mouth even further,
I think you're
dead to me.
You're very you're well within your right to say some things are steampunk and I don't have to like them.
Yes,
and some things that I like aren't steampunk, and that's all okay.
If we could make
whether
it
I like your steampunk or I don't, who cares? You do you.
I mean, because like I said, the Clockwork Cabaret podcast. The Clockwork Cabaret podcast, they put out a podcast weekly. It's a weekly podcast for them. Of course, right now they're on a summer break, but every week they had to come up. Well, every week they had to come up with music, and after a while, and they've been doing it for a very, very long time. So after a while, they'll start playing. I think last summer or whatever, they started playing music, just saying, okay, we're gonna drift away from actual real steampunk music, as we call it, or whatever. We're just gonna do something because we want to have fun, And they started doing like a retrospective of the 50s and the 60s and the 70s kind of thing.
Oh yeah.
But somewhere in there they threw in, it's steampunk music because we say it's steampunk music. So there, whatever. It's like we don't care. They don't just. They don't. They were trying to. They're not saying there's a be all end all of what to say what steampunk music is. They just play what they like.
Steampunk music isn't all 1920s flapper jazz stuff.
Right.
It doesn't have to fit whatever narrative. That's the thing. We've now come up with. I'm pretty sure there's an argument that we could make techno steampunk.
Hey, we threw a Tom Petty song into a steampunk because one of their videos is they're just steampunked.
It's sort of a post-apocalyptic dust punk video that I'd never seen before, but it was cool.
Yeah,
unfortunately,
I've seen it before, and they use the car
anymore.
Oh, what's her name?
They use the car from the Logan's Run TV show.
Violinist.
I recognized it. So. Lindsay Sterling.
Yes, Lindsay Sterling.
Oh.
Yeah, I've asked the wife over here too. She did a steampunk music, and actually, I loved her. I found her violin and techno to be to me, was steampunk to begin with. I'm like, this is taking like old and new and mixing it into something new and different. And then she does her like steampunk bar fight
outfits,
audio, and like, nope, that's steampunk now. We're good. I'm all happy.
Yeah, I agree. And she's cute, as hell.
It doesn't hurt any.
But that's besides the point. Hey, I can say that now. I'm single, so ladies.
I was dating steampunk. Is there a steampunk dating site? That was the question. Hit us up in the comments.
I've never looked for that. There are geek dating sites, but anyway, besides the point. I'm drifting.
Oh, so we've gone over our 3. We've done the drink thing. What else do we need to do? Do we have a plan?
I think we might be able to call it early today if we want. Because we've been going over an hour last few times, and we're at 45 minutes, or almost 45 minutes now. So if we cut it a little short, there's no crime in that.
Any of our viewers,
the Shadow Me video is awesome.
Shout out to Jim Trent, who is a regular listener. Thanks for coming back. And Rita Menzie Allen, I've been seeing your posts, of course. Thank you for tuning in. I don't think I've seen your name before. So if this is your first time, that's awesome. Anybody else who might be listening?
She was here last time.
She was? Thank you for coming back.
Yeah, I think so. Hey, Rita, the Shatter Me video, was that a Lindsay Sterling?
It was Lindsay Sterling and Hailstorm put together, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll have to look that one up.
Hailstorm, listen to them all the time.
Awesome.
And she also did. Lindsay Sterling also did one with the Pentatonics. That was, I guess that we can. Yeah, it was good. Anyway, music.
I'm sorry. We were saying hello. We have at least 5 viewers now, and we know 2 of them. Who else is watching us? Hello, guys. Say something before we sign off.
Does Jack count as a watcher?
Oh, is he? Are you watching us, Jack?
I am watching us. I do have a
off the numbers.
I'm sorry. It's not meant to be bumping the numbers. I needed to share it.
That's funny.
The video, so I shared it.
Mike Ryder. Hello, Mike. Or Mick Ryder. Hello.
I know Mick Ryder. Hey, sir.
Linevere, hey.
So you should be talking to that guy from about the TV show, right? Linevere?
No, that's
oh, sorry, my bad. Yeah, never mind.
Other music before we get off.
Sorry about that.
Apparently, I'm being told that Days and Days folk punk band is good.
Days and Days?
I'll let me post a link here. It's DAYS and DAZE folk. I'll just link it in the comments there. So the wife's like, mention them.
Oh,
all right, we'll do it.
Days and Days folk punk band. Okay.
Oh,
hey, Jack, thanks for listening, Jack. I see you're making comments.
You're welcome.
They look like they're out of New Orleans, sort of homeless street people.
Well, I mean, that's most musicians. I'm sorry. I'm terrible.
I thought that was just the drummers.
Bass guitarists, man. That's where it's at.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I'm looking forward to listening to these guys. This sounds interesting.
Yep. Let's see here.
Cool.
Yeah, so I guess we should probably be wrapping it up now.
Okay.
We'll be back in another 2 weeks. This is a bi-weekly. Is that bi-weekly? Yeah, bi-weekly. I think I tend to think of Shane Madden, Gavina, Shane Madden / Gavina. I don't know them. I'll look them up.
I've heard of Govinda's. That I've heard of that band. But there's just tons and tons of steampunk bands. You do Google search for bands, you'll get hundreds.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, always worth taking a look and finding ones that you like. You may find ones you don't like, but that's okay.
Hey Jack, you should probably, I don't know, maybe every so often bring up one of the ones that you've shipped out in your box, you know, a band or so.
That's actually a good idea. I do keep at least one or three with me at every time we order them. So I do have a collection that we could actually talk about next week, and or like you said, do it one at a time. So
sounds good to me.
Newest, all right. And oldest steampunk music.
I think I'm gonna have another graphic novel next week, or not next, well, 2 weeks next time, and it's actually an all ages one, and it was pretty good. So I don't know. So yeah, guys, do your homework. We'll come up with some more steampunk stuff in 2 weeks for you guys, because you know, got it. How else do you do steampunk at home when you can't go anywhere? You know, where you got to read, watch TV, do projects, you know, build stuff. You know, if you're out there building something, or if you found something, let us know.
Yeah, we'll
leave a comment on Facebook. We're also on YouTube.
Yep.
We have
an email address.
We have email address, which is texassteampunkconnection@gmail.com. Which, you know, I know it's a long one, but you know, just spell it all out, and there it is. Yeah, and don't be afraid to talk to us during the week. You know, just if you want to say something to us, talk to us on Facebook. That's where you'll find me. You know, you can, or that's where I find most of my messages. And these two are also available if they're not working. They actually have jobs. I am currently furloughed, but I'm okay.
It's like half of America now.
Right. I think that should probably wrap it up then. So until next time, mind your gauges.
Mind your gauges,
guys. Yep.
Good night.
And good night, guys.